Hey guys, Tim here from Mastering. Hope you're having a very great day. And today, guys, in this video, I'm covering a mastering technique that nobody will tell you about. I'm showing how to deal with unbalanced element in a mix. So before we start, please remember, if you have a mix that you need mastered, request a quote at BSMastering.com and receive 50% off your first order. And now, let's get started. So this time I've got an obnoxious element in the mix to deal with. In this case it is a hi-hat that's overly bright and overly loud. Everything else is a kind of a okay. So let's have a listen now to a part of this mix with this hi-hat that's way too loud.
This is a story about a young leader. One day he takes a breathtaking heat. They rob a bank of good moral standing. Nothing uncommon, hold up with an ending. Yeah, they shag back to London. Took faulty lover, explosive thunder. This is a story about a young leader. One day he takes a breathtaking heat.
In overall, the mix sounds slightly dull, and perhaps at later mastering would require some brightening. But later brightening at mastering is not gonna make this obnoxious, overly bright hi-hat even worse. So while I can't fix this problem entirely, obviously I can at least try and tame some of the damage. So as you can hear, the hi-hat is not only too loud, but it's obnoxiously bright, and it's not in keeping with the rest of the track. It is a kind of isolated from the rest of the elements of the mix. From my experience, if the whole mix is dull, or the whole mix is boomy, or the whole mix is whatever, that's much easier to deal with than when you've got a mix that's unbalanced. Because one element in the mix is kind of completely unrelated to everything else that's going on. So in many cases this is one of these worst case scenarios where there's no cohesion at all. And of course that's gonna be difficult to fix this problem in the mix, because there are some other elements there that overlap with this hi-hat, such as top of the guitars, vocals and drums that are also up in that area. Now, to start dealing with this problem, I will use what you can call a dynamic EQ or multi-band compressor, or whatever language you want to put it to it. This is one of my favorite ones, and it is called Oxford suppressor. So here it is. And this is not a standard multi-band compressor that has multiple bands that you can turn on and off. It is really got just one band that you focus on, and that's what does the work for me. So in this case I'm gonna focus on that danger area, which is between as you may see here, 4.5 key and 13.5 key. So I'm gonna play the track now, and I'm gonna turn this process on and off, and you don't have to understand exactly what this plugin is doing now, but it is very graphical, and you will get an idea straight away.
Nothing uncommon, hold
So you can hear that hi-hat horribly sticking through. Now obviously I'm gonna make the caveat here that if you could fix this unbalanced issue in the mix, you gotta fix it in the mix. But in our case it is a mastering scenario, and we have to deal with it here. In the suppressor you can see the area where focusing in, and these two vertical lines are kind of in and out point of my filters. So at the moment it's kind of starting at 4.5 and finishing around 13k, and I can make that wider or narrower, and I can also solo this area and listen to what's inside and or outside. And the inside option is where you can solo and listen to those elements that are in this chosen area we're dealing with. And outside option is where you can listen to everything except what's in the middle. That's a really good way of listening to see if you can hear everything, but annoying part is gone. Hi-hat is very percussive element, therefore I set the attack extremely fast, so you can see here. And so I want to grab it as soon as it strikes. I don't want to let any of that attack slip through ungraded. I also set a pretty fast release, and I have about 6 dB of reduction at certain points. So now I activate the whole process again, and it's gonna start pushing down like a compressor, but just in that chosen area. And I will also bypass I will show how to listen this inside, outside, and the mix. So let's have a listen. Good news, it's significantly better now, but the suppressor is pushing down the entire broad frequency range with all other elements, and this way we'll lose some sparkle, so to say. Now we need something else to get some of that top and back, but without bringing back that horrible front aggression and bite of the hi-hat. And for this second process I used this new let me show you this new split EQ, and from Aventide, And this split EQ is a groundbreaking EQ that offers a fundamentally new approach to corrective and creative audio equalization. It excels at repairing, rebalancing, enhancing, and widening any musical source or audio signal. You probably have already heard and seen the hype for this split EQ. The idea is that it can deal with transient and tonal aspects of the sound separately. You can choose how much separation there should be and what kind of a rate of decay or transition of this separation should be to minimize artifacts, and then you can also smooth it. So then you can apply this EQ separately. You can affect the tonal with this pale blue tab there, and the transients using this green. So in this case, I boost only the transients of the top, and in the I would say 5 something up to 13 K range, around 2 dB, and it works perfectly without no artifacts. So what I will do now is play back the mix with these two processes in place. Then I'll bypass the two of them, and we will see if I make a positive difference or not. So let's have a listen. So now we have more sparkling back in the mix with less loud hi-hat, and the hi-hat itself is not as prominent as it is in the original version. So that's my way of dealing with a troublesome element in a mix, and I do often apply this technique in the mastering realm when I have to deal with, say, overly bright vocal or harsh guitars or other element. So, and of course, you can automate the whole thing and have it turning itself on and off in chorus or bridges or wherever the trouble is. So that's about it for today. So if you like my videos, please subscribe and hit the notification bell to support my channel. So have a very great and nice day, and see you next time.